In this video, I'll be explaining what the overflow property means. So the overflow property, what it's used to do is control what happens when something is too big to fit inside of an element. So by default, whatever is inside of your element will be visible. However, you can use the overflow property to clip the content, meaning the content doesn't show. Alternatively, you can use overflow so that when something is too big to fit inside the element, a scroll bar will appear and then you can scroll to see the rest of it. So there's 4 values you can give overflow. The first is visible, hidden, scroll, and auto. Now let me first explain what visible means. I think it's easier for you to understand if I actually use a real example, so let's do that. So let me create a divider, and let's give this divider an ID of outer. So let's set the CSS for outer. Let's set the height to 500 pixels. Set the width to 500. And let's give it a background color of blue. Now inside of outer, I'm going to add another divider. And let's give this other divider an ID of inner. Now let's decorate inner. So let's set the height of inner to 400. Let's set the width to 800. And let's set the background color to red. Now, overflow visible is the default value. In other words, if I don't set overflow, it equals visible. So for everything else where you didn't set overflow, it's just visible by default. So technically, I don't have to set it, but I'll do it just to show you anyways. Let me show you what that looks like in the browser. So it's what you expect. The red element extends beyond the blue element. This is visible. See? If I don't include the overflow property at all, watch, see? It's the exact same thing. Now next, I'll explain what happens when you set the value of overflow to hidden. When you set the value of overflow to hidden, it means some of the content is clipped off and not showing. Let me show you with a real example. So let's create a divider. Let's give it an ID of wrapper. And let's decorate wrapper. Let's set the height to 400. Let's set the width to 400. And inside of wrapper, let's add 6 images, okay? The source of the image will be bear.png. Oops, sorry. And we'll give it a class of pic. PIC. Okay. Let me copy and paste this 5 times. So let's set the value of the pic class. Set the height to 300 pixels, set the width to 300 pixels, and we need to set overflow to hidden since hidden is not a default value. So now I've set overflow to hidden. Let me show you what this looks like in the browser. See, part of the content has been clipped off. This is the hardest part to actually get, what overflow really means. The bears are lined up vertically, right? They're displayed by block. So there's supposed to be more than 1 bear, more than 2 bears, but you only see as much as the wrapper divider. Everything else has been clipped off. That's what overflow means. You'd have to go over this a few times. It's a bit confusing at first. Everything that goes beyond your parent element is not visible. So just to show you the difference, let me change the value of overflow to scroll. So scroll means some of the content is still clipped off, but there's a scroll bar that appears so you can scroll to see the rest of it. Let me show you what this looks like in the browser. See? Scroll bar. Ta-da! Lastly, I'll show you what auto means. So here's auto. So in practice, what you end up using a lot of these things for is to actually make carousels. That's beyond the scope of this course, but for now, just understand what we've done here. It's a little bit confusing at first, so do pay extra attention, and you may have to review this section a few times. But anyways, This about finishes this course. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, and I'll see you next time.